Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Eden's Fun Crochet. I'm Eden, and welcome to podcast episode number 6. Okay, so to get started, my finished objects. So I actually have 2. I feel like I had so much more than that, but they're bigger projects. So I finished this blanket that I talked a lot about in my last podcast. So I'm not going to re-explain everything, but I finished it, so I had one stripe left that I needed to sew on, so I crocheted this, sewed on a stripe, and then I did the border. I just did a 3-row single crochet border. I didn't want something super huge to take away from the craziness of the pattern, but so it was a pattern by Annie's Attic. It's a mile a minute. It's called Mile a Minute Annie's Way, I think. So finished that. That's exciting. I have a lot of like half finished projects that an older lady gave me, and so I've just been trying to like finish them, and they're all blankets, or were supposed to be blankets. Like this one only had 10 squares, and it didn't have enough yarn to make a whole blanket out of. I probably could have made like a baby blanket or something, but I didn't really want to go down that route. I want to do something a little bit more simple. So I made 10 more squares and I sewed them together, and I made this vest thing. So it didn't turn out exactly like I had imagined it, even though I did exactly like I thought it. It's okay. It's still cute. I'm really proud of the fringe at the bottom. I'll show you that. So on this side, it starts green with like one strand of the off-white, and then it slowly changes until it's just the off-white with one strand of green in it. So super proud of that. I like that. Anyway, so I finished that. Well, I started and finished it this week. This week was a little bit longer because I usually record on Mondays. So last time I recorded was a Monday, and today is a Thursday. So I had like a week and a half actually, but I finished this before Monday. I think I finished it Sunday, but I did have a little extra time this week. And with finishing those 2 projects, I decided I was finally going to start something new, just because I've been like really like wanting to, but I've been waiting till I got some things done first. I did start on some of the other projects from that same lady, including this one. I didn't even know I had this. So it's just a chevron stitch, but she's using single crochet, working only in the back loops, which with a size 3 DK yarn is taking forever. I literally worked on it for hours, not hours, maybe like 2 hours. I don't know. And I got 1 row done. But that's also because I got halfway done with the row, and then I realized I was increasing the wrong amount of stitches, so I had to undo it and then redo it, and then okay, so I'm more than halfway through this. But I have enough of the 2 colors to make a baby blanket, but I don't want to put this much effort into something I'm just gonna give away, because I mean, that's such a small knit stitch. I don't want to spend forever on it and then just give it away to the baby that isn't even going to appreciate it as much as the effort I put into it. And then I was thinking, what could I turn it into that I would use? Like I could turn it this way and then make like a shawl or something with it. Then I was like, wow. Or it could be like, I'm sure you can see this, like, it wraps all the way around comfortably and it stretches like a ton. And so I was thinking that it could be a cardigan or something like that, like a kimono or something. So that's the plan, except I have enough of the white with the speckles in it to do it alternating with the other color, but I don't think I have enough of the other color to do it. So I do have a pink that should work, but, and there is pink, like, I'm not sure if you can see this, but in the white there's green, blue, and pink specks. And so this is the green that's pulling out. It is kind of a bluish green, but it's greener than the blue. And this pink is a little too peachy. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm going to see if I can find more, but it's the Karen's Cuddle Soft yarn. Which is, I looked online and I couldn't find one in the color that I'm looking for. It's like a sparkly green, like a turquoisey green. And so, yeah. So, I'm gonna, and with the quarantine, I don't have access to just go over to a craft store, and they don't have that kind of specialty, or at Walmart. So I'm gonna have to wait on that one, but I did start it, and I'm gonna, and right now I think this is a good amount to, like, if I was gonna do pink and the green, I could do this much of the green and then pink and then green, and like kind of go off and on, so it'd be like larger stripes of smaller stripes. So once I finish the row that I'm on, it will be time to change. So I'll probably have to put a pause on that until I like know what I'm doing with it. But that's my first work in progress that I spent probably the most time on yesterday, because I was dyeing yarn yesterday, so I spent most of my time doing that. So this one is actually really funny. This is an old project that I started 8 years ago. My very first blanket, but I never finished it, so I'm not sure if it even counts as my first blanket. First time I ever did anything besides a single crochet. So it's a double crochet, and it's so sad. I had 5 more stripes on this, so I had 7 stripes total. And I was like, wow, look at all this like progress I made, and I like never even worked on it, so I pulled it out to work on it. And mind you, I was 12 when I started this blanket. The edges were like this. Like they like came out like 3 rows and then like would go in, and they were just, it was awful, just horrendous. And so I like this one, I think is just bumped out because of the knot that's right there, but it could easily like be crocheted over and you wouldn't even notice. If it was like 1 stitch difference, like I totally could fudge it, but it was unfudgeable. And so I ripped it all the way back to where it switched colors right here. So I ripped out 26 rows. So 5 stripes plus a row. Isn't that just the saddest thing? Like, I honestly, with only 10 rows left, I was like, I ripped out twice as much than what I have left. I thought about just like being done with it and just frogging the whole thing, but I couldn't do it I've been working on this for 8 years. Well, sort of, on and off. It's like that thing that I work on when like I don't have a mindless project I can do that's just like long and like I don't have to think about it at all. When I don't have something like that, I'll work on this when I like want to watch like a movie that I need to like pay more attention to. Which I never really pull out, but that's what like I kind of have it there for. But now that I actually know how to make straight edges, I want to work on it again. Like, I don't care if it takes me another 8 years to do. It's kind of nice to just have like a piece of like when I first started crocheting. Like, I learned how to crochet on this blanket, and it's kind of like sad to think that it will be over when I'm done with it, you know. So I'm not sad. I mean, I am sad I had to take out 26 rows, but I'm not like devastated about it. Like oh my goodness, like I'm never gonna get this blanket done. Like, it's okay. It's gonna get done when it gets done. And like it's been so long since I worked on it that they don't even sell this color anymore. I mean, they sell pretty much, it's very similar. This one, I think it's this one. But it's pretty much the same. Like, not sure if you can see that. It's the same thing, but this one just has more of a shine to it, I guess. It's like ever so slightly different. So, like, that's how long it's been since I started it, was they changed the yarn. Anyway, like the very first ball of yarn I went to crochet on, I don't even know where it is. I was using it. They don't make anymore. I don't think, anyway. Not that I've been able to find. Just red heart yarn, but anyway, so that, oh, totally, this is a finished object. I don't know why I spaced it, but that brings me to this one because I used the yarn, my very first ball of yarn, in here, this variegated color. This I made a tutorial for this week. This is a finished object, not a work in progress. I guess I'm just jumping all over the place because I do have one more whip. But so I made a tiny little pouch. So it has 6. So it has the base 6 stripes and then the top, but they're just 1 row stripes. It's like the pink and then the variegated. So I'm using the same variegated yarn throughout all of this. So this is still 6 stripes, but using 2 rows instead of 1 row. So that's the medium pouch, the size that I use the most probably because it's good for like knickknacks and like stuff like that. And then this larger one, which I actually love. Like, I didn't realize how much I was gonna love it. I wanted to do yellow, but I couldn't find a yellow that I had that matched the yellow in here. The blue doesn't match perfectly, but it matches good enough. And I didn't have a green or anything else that matched, so I went with the blue. But I love this, like, love it. And I just love, like, I don't know, just everything about it. So if you want to, so in that video I talk about how to like I use this one, like this is one that I make in the video, but I talk about how you can make it smaller and larger, into like what you want it to be, very simply, like how to make the base larger or like how to do the different stripes. And I do show how I do my color change. So that was this one. So that was a finished object. So I have one more work in progress that I've actively been working on. Oh, wrong bag. I do have like work in progresses that I just haven't, well, I guess they're not work in progresses, they're UFOs, unfinished objects at the moment, just sitting around. So this is my what is this called? Build-A-Bear backpack. Drawstring bag with this rainbow pin that says everything sucks. I thought it, because it's like all like happy, and then it's like, just kidding, everything sucks. So I started my November sky beanie from the Cozy Cottage Crochet, Hannah. I, not very far, I'm only like this far in it, but I'm so excited. The pattern that I printed out, you couldn't see like my color, my printer just sucks, and so like you can't really see the pictures very well. And so when she explains like how to do like the cabling and everything, oh, I probably shouldn't be showing you this. It's a bought for pattern, but I'm just saying that like the pictures suck. But yes, so I had to like look it up on my phone, and I had to like look at the pictures, and so I had to like redo a row because I did it wrong. But anyway, the pattern is just beautiful. I'm really excited. This looks so like small, like when I'm holding it, but my head, it stretches like a ton, super stretchy. I guess I just have a smaller head than I thought. But I am so excited for this to be done. But because it's such a, I'm using a smaller hook because it's a size 4, and I usually use just worsted weight yarn instead of DK weight. It's a little harder on my hands, so I have to take it slower. So probably still be a work in progress by next time, but I'm having fun with it. So I love Hannah. She's one of my favorite podcasts to watch. And she had been working on that pattern for so long because she was working on like the math and everything. And so when she finally got it up, I was so excited. So I bought it before I even had like the time to do it. So I finally started it, which I'm super excited for. And then once I like figure it out, because I don't really follow patterns that much. I usually just make things up as I go. So once I like do it and know like how to do it, and like it's not just like figuring it out as I go, I'm going to do it in this yarn. So I'm using the same yarn just in a different color. So it's Baby Bee yarn, Sweet Delight prints. That one was Toy Elephant, and this one is Sprinkles. And this matches one of my shirts, one of my tie-dye shirts perfectly. Like, so this is a shirt. I've actually never worn this shirt because it was my mom's, but it was too tight on her. Like, look at this. This yarn was made for this shirt. Like, it has the pink, the yellow, like, has all the exact same colors and in the exact same shade. Like, it's like this yarn was made for this shirt, or the shirt was made for this yarn. But once I make the hat, I'm like never going to wear one without the other. They're just going to be paired together forever. So that's that project that I will finish, that I will do once I finish this November sky beanie. But that's the plan, is I'm going to make a November sky beanie with Sprinkles yarn to go with my tie-dye shirt. I touch my face a lot. I need to stop, especially with this whole coronavirus thing. But I'm hoping that it will be lifted soon. Although I don't really know why, because I never really leave my house anyway. I actually kind of don't want it to end, because then I actually have to get a job. Anyway, enough about my problems. I think there was something else I did, but so I think I can talk about this. I don't think anyone in my family watches these podcasts, but my brother, his birthday is in July. So I know it's still 2 months away, but like more like 3, because it's like mid-July. But anyway, I know if I don't start thinking about it now, I'm never going to do it. But I want to make him a book cover for one of his D&D books, and because he kind of mentioned, like, I asked him like things he wanted, and he jokingly said a book cover for his D&D books, but I was just like, whatever, you're not giving me anything, so I'm just gonna roll with it. And he likes Star Wars. He watches like Star Wars all the time. Like after I go to bed, like he'll still be watching it till like 4 in the morning. And so I thought I could make him a D&D cover for his book, but like Star Wars themed. So I'll do it black, and then I'll put like yellow specks in it to make it like stars, and then in yellow have like Star Wars and like the logo, and maybe like a yoga applique or something on it. So that's like a thought, and I want to do it, but I'm kind of not wanting to start it. I just like, I want to start so many things, and I have so many of these like ideas in my head, and I've been printing out patterns for when I do start it. Like I think it'd be so pretty to do hooked on Tilly's kimono. What is it called? It's like I think I have a pattern right here actually. The Genesis cardigan by Hooked on Tilly. So I have one. The one that I wear, the rainbow one that I've worn on the podcast before, is by her. It's the same thing. But I wanted to make one with like all these different purples. I thought that would be super cute. I have all these ideas in my head, but I am gonna start things, but I'm not gonna start them all at once like I want to. I'm gonna like finish something before I start something, so I don't have like tens of thousands of projects started and never finished, especially when like I have ones that I've been working on for a while, like those work in progresses, you know, those UFOs that just sit there for years. I don't want them to become that. Like I have one that has been like a blanket that I started January. I think it was January of last year, so over a year ago. And I'm halfway done with it, but then I start working on a different, so that was working like a hexagons and single crochet, and then I was doing like squares and double crochet for a different project in June. So I spent 6 months working on the other blanket, and then I started a new one, and I would crochet up like several squares in like an hour instead of one square in an hour. I mean one hexagon in an hour. So the motivation was lost at that point. So I just don't want it to become one of those blankets that sits there for years. Like this one, my striped one, but that's okay. Like I don't mind that one sitting there for years, but not because I don't like it, but because I do like it. It's like just one of those like nice ones to just have. So probably once I finish it, I'll probably have another one eventually that's just like my backup blanket, but yeah, I had like this huge tote that had like these projects in it, and that I emptied that out, and now it's full again, but of other crap. So I do want to work on my blankets. Not my blankets, my projects, and just most of them are blankets, like that one with the little squares that I'm covering with white. It's just, it uses such a small hook. I think it uses this hook actually. Where did I get this from? I'm just holding a ball and a hook. I don't know what the heck. Anyway. It's just so small. Look, what I like to do is when I like to use a bigger hook with yarn than the yarn calls for, so that it works up faster. Like with my Jade and Stitches calendar blanket that I'm doing right now, I'm using a size L hook when it's supposed to be like a 5.5 or something like that. And so it's working up really fast, which is nice. Like this striped one that I'm doing, I'm using a K. So it's like a good, it works up fast, which I like. Using, like with those squares, it's so slow. I feel like I'm getting nowhere with it, but I know I just need to continue with it, but that one will probably take me a long time. Once I get the squares done, it will be all like, probably sew it in a week, sew it all together, and then the next week do the border, and then I'll be done. But just doing the squares is the hard part. Not the hard part, the tedious part. And then, yeah. I actually like sewing them. Like, I don't dread it. Just because it goes so fast. Like when I was doing this one, I didn't mind the sewing. It's when I like had a crochet where I was like, ugh. But it's just because, like, when you do something that someone else started, like picking a pattern or like something that you want to do, picking the yarn for it, and then starting it is the fun part. And then seeing where it goes and creating it, and then when you finish it, that's what you're proud of. When you finish a project that someone else chose the pattern, someone else chose the yarn, someone else started it and worked on most of it, and then you finish it, it's not the same when it's more of like, oh, I'm finally done with this, okay, I can put it to the side. Instead of like, look at this blanket that I made, it's like, look at this blanket that I put a border on. And this one is a little bit different because I did do most of the work. Like I made, so my storage got full. So what I was saying was I never would have chosen these colors for this pattern. I would have done like bright colors like pink and blue with white, like a unicorny kind of. That would be cool. Maybe I'll do that. So I have another finished object that, wow, I'm just all over the place. I was just messing around. I was making a hat, but I was starting from the top to the bottom. And which I usually start from the bottom to the top, but this time I started from the top because I just wanted to like mess around. I was using different stitches as I went. And it was my friend's birthday this week, so I ended up, and it was in her favorite color, ironically, so I ended up just gifting it to her. I'll put a picture at the end of the video. It was on my Instagram. I actually posted it before I gave it to her, and she follows me. I think she might watch these, I'm not sure. Yeah, so I posted it, and then like the next day I gave it to her. And so I was like, hey, like, here you go. And she was like, oh, you posted this, like, yesterday. And I was like, yeah. But you never would have known that it was for you, so I didn't worry about it. I, like, thought about it when I posted it. I was like, she doesn't know. It's fine. Because I got her a whole bunch of other stuff, too, like, crochet related, of course, because she crochets, which I love. She crocheted before I met her, but she didn't like actively crochet before I met her. So I influenced her life in a positive way. Probably the only way I've influenced her in a positive way. But anyway, that's it, I think. Yeah. I have some things that I will talk about next time that I'm excited for. I tried my hand in dyeing yarn yesterday, as you can tell. My blue hands, they're not as bad. I wore gloves, okay? I wore gloves, and my hands still got dyed. But it's fine. So next time I'll show you some of that, and then, yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.